Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Sean here from Sean's Rabbitry and Aquaponic Produce. So welcome back. Today we have another aquaponics video for you. We hope you guys enjoy this one. Today we're going to talk a bit about media beds. So stay tuned. More on that right after the intro. Okay guys, so in last week's vid we gave you guys a bit of a walkthrough of the aquaponics system, right? We showed you the different methods of doing aquaponics, right? We would have spoken about the NFT system, we would have shown you the media beds, the deep water culture bed, and of course we would have discussed our upcoming Dutch bucket program. Now, for someone who is just getting into aquaponics, it can be a bit confusing when you think about which method you want to utilize when you're just getting started. So my intent is really to touch on a few of them, give you a bit of a breakdown to help you make that decision, so you'll know, okay, well, which one of these systems is best for me as a newcomer starting out in aquaponics. Okay, so today we discussed media beds, so let's go have a look at some media beds. Okay, so basically every aquaponic system is going to have a fish tank of some sort, because the fish are the engine really for your aquaponic system, right? If it's a fairly big system, you know, you're going to have a sump tank of some sort. So this is our sump tank, right? I've uncovered it. You need to see, right? We have one pump basically that moves the water throughout the entire system, and we have a feedback line there to take some of the pressure off the pump. So we're talking about media beds. The first thing you're gonna need, of course, is some type of container to house the media, right? Now this could be any waterproof container, could be utilized as a grow bed. Now we have ready-made plastic containers that can be bought commercially, for example like this. So this is an example of one of the ready-made containers we have here available in Trinidad and Tobago, right? This is made of food grade heavy-duty plastic. It's approximately 4 feet in diameter and about 1 foot deep, right? Very sturdy, right? Now this is made locally here by a company called Rotoplastics. It's about 500 TT for one of these, right? So you can look at that option. Okay, another option would be IBC totes. Alright, IBC stands for International Bulk Container, I believe. These containers are used to ship things all over the world. They look something like this. Right, so they look a lot like these. Here it's basically a big tank with a cage around it. They are available worldwide, so you could get these relatively cheap. Then you can cut them. When you cut them, you would have grow beds similar to these, like what we have here. These were all made from IBC totes. Another option obviously is the blue barrel. These are also readily available worldwide, so you can cut these either lengthways or you can cut them across the middle halfway and create grow beds not too dissimilar from these. These are two grow beds that we have here that were made from blue barrels. As you can see, they were cut in half and used, filled with media, and housed. You can grow almost anything. As example, in this one here we have a very large pawpaw tree. I don't know if you guys can see that there. Let me move around a bit. So you have these plastic container options, but if you have a lot of lumber available, you can even build a box out of lumber and then line it with some type of waterproof liner. In our case, we use a pond liner. Like for example, this deep water culture bed that we have here was made out of 2x4 lumber and plywood, and then it was lined with waterproof liner. The same can be done for a media bed, or the only difference is you'd fill the bed with media instead of water. Okay, so let's talk a bit now about media. The media is basically whatever material you use to fill the grow bed to support the plants. Okay, now there are a variety of media that are commonly used in aquaponics and by extension hydroponics. Now in places like North America, you would see a lot of something called hydroton, which is basically a type of clay pebble that they bake at extremely high temperatures, so it swells up and it gets extremely light. So it's lightweight, very easy to work with. The downside to hydroton is that it can be a bit costly, and if you're going to do a large media bed system like what we have here, we have approximately 13 of these size grow beds. It will be way too expensive to use hydroton as a form of media. Alright, we also see a lot of things like lava rock, different types of rock that people use. Here in Trinidad and Tobago, one thing that's readily available is gravel. Gravel is relatively cheap here as well. Doesn't cost that much to get a whole truckload of gravel that could be utilized to do a rather large system. So the main reason for our choice in the type of media we use are availability and cost. Gravel, on the other hand, is a bit heavy, so whatever design that you use for your system, you have to ensure that whatever stand you use to support that grow bed is capable of taking that weight. So you don't want to have any accidents, so you have to make sure you have a nice strong stand to take the weight. In our case, we used the IBC totes as grow beds, and the said cage in which the IBC tank comes enclosed is converted into the stand for that very said grow bed. Let me show you. So here you see the grow bed, and the lower half of the said cage is inverted and used as the stand to support the said grow bed. A point to note: when you're utilizing gravel as your media, you don't want to get the stone that is too small. The average size is what we consider 3/4 or 1 inch stone. These are ideal for your grow bed because it leaves ample space between the different stones for water and air to pass through, right? And that is needed in a grow bed system like this. So you don't want a gravel that's too fine, because then you're going to have clogging issues and you're not going to get enough oxygen down to the roots of the plants. Something I forgot to mention: when choosing your media, whatever media you decide to go with, it must be something that's inert. When I say inert, I mean that it must not react in any way to chemically alter or influence the chemistry of your aquaponic system. A quick way to test any media that you collect to see that's inert is to do something we call the vinegar test. You take a few stones and you put them in a container and you pour some vinegar on them. If you see any bubbling or fizzing or any type of chemical activity, then you know that that media is not inert. So that's a simple way to test it, to ensure that the media you're using is not going to affect the chemistry of your system. And that's really important to maintain a balance in an aquaponic system. Let me talk a bit now about how a media bed system actually works. Right. So you have your waterproof container You fill it with media and you put in your plants. Now, most media bed systems are what we call flood and drain systems. They use a flood and drain method of operation, meaning that this grow bed is going to fill with water for a specific amount of time, and then it's going to drain quickly, and it's going to fill again and drain again, and it's going to go on like that whole day, every day of the year. To accomplish this, you need two things. One, you have to have a constant inflow of water. The next thing you'll need, of course, is a bell siphon. Right, that is the device that actually drains the water from the bed. Now, I'm not going to go too deep today talking about the bell siphon, because the way that the bell siphon works, explaining how that works, that requires a separate video. So I'll do a subsequent video explaining to you how the bell siphon works. Right, so today all you need to understand is that you have a constant flow of water coming into the grow bed, and via the bell siphon you have a mechanism by which you can constantly drain that grow bed on a timely basis. Now let's talk a bit about the media in the grow bed. The media in a flood and drain system serves multiple purposes. Firstly, the media serves as a support for your plants. See, we have some nice big pepper plants here that are fruiting, and they are being supported by this gravel media. More importantly, the media, especially the gravel in the grow bed, has a very high surface area that serves as an ideal home for all the beneficial bacteria to live. We're going to touch a bit more on beneficial bacteria in another video as well. But basically, these are beneficial bacteria that do all of the nitrification, which is the breaking down of the ammonia that's produced by the fish into a more usable form of nitrogen that the plants can uptake. So the media, apart from supporting the plants, it provides a nice home for all of the beneficial bacteria to live. Now, the way that media beds work, let me explain this. So you have your media, you have your constant inflow of water, you have your bell siphon. So this bed is going to fill with water. And when the water reaches a certain height, the bell siphon is going to drain that bed. So when the bed fills, the plant roots are submerged in nutrient-rich water. So the plants will absorb water, they will absorb nutrients. And as the bell siphon kicks in and the bed drains, that draining effect of the bed draws air down into the media between the spaces of these stones. And in that process, brings fresh oxygen to the roots of the plant. This is one of the reasons why plants grow so well in aquaponics. Now, some people tend to say that plants grow faster in aquaponics. I prefer to say that aquaponics optimizes the growth of the plant, because the plant is getting everything that it needs on a constant basis. So we have sunlight, they have support, they have water, they have nutrients, and the roots have a steady supply of oxygen every time this bed drains. So in actuality, what we are doing is creating an ideal environment for plants to grow well. And that is one of the beauties of aquaponics. Now, this is also why I personally believe that the media bed system is the best system for someone who's just getting started in aquaponics. It requires a lot less supervision and maintenance. As long as you set your bell siphon, it's built properly, right? It's going to continue to work and flood and drain that bed, constantly creating that wonderful environment for your plants to grow. In subsequent videos, we're going to touch on the other methods of aquaponics and you can then choose whichever one is best for you. But my recommendation, if you're just getting started in aquaponics and you just want to try it for the first time to prove to yourself that it really works, I would suggest that you go with a media bed system. Now, something I didn't mention, when you're doing aquaponics on a slightly bigger scale and you start growing the same type of plants with the different aquaponic methods, right? And we've done it here in the past. I think we have some videos up there. I'll leave a link to the previous video where we had grown tomato plants in our media beds as well as in our NFT system. And the plants from the same batch of seeds that was set at the same time and planted into the system at the same time, we always experience better and a more vibrant growth from the plants in the media bed system. I personally think it has a lot to do with the fact that because of the nature of the media bed system, it provides a home for a wider variety of beneficial bacteria and microbes, as well as the fact that a media bed, because of its depth, has various zones of activity. This is something we'll discuss also in subsequent videos, where different levels of nutrient breakdown take place. So you always tend to find that you have better plant growth from the plants in the media bed systems, at least in our experience. Now, to back that up, I'm going to show you some pepper plants that we have in one of our media beds here. Now, these plants are approximately 4 feet in height, and we are constantly harvesting fruit from them. They have just begun a new stage of flowering. You can see most of them have little buds coming out there. Some of them you will see fruit forming, right? But what is interesting to note is that these pepper plants are over a year old. Yeah, these plants have been in the system over 1 year, and we continue to harvest fruit from them. Now, what we did is that when these plants brought their first 2 crops, when they looked as though they were, more or less on this ready to die, we cut them back. So we cut off all the foliage at the stem about 1 foot from the base of the media bed, and we allowed the tree to spring new branches and regrow. And those trees grew and continue to bear fresh fruit as though it's their first crop when we had just planted them. So it's something that you could look at as well. If you have pepper plants in your system, you don't necessarily have to pull them out right away. Once you see they start to decline, you cut them back and you allow them to grow again, and you get a full new crop or 2 from them. So I don't know how long we're going to leave these in the system, but as long as they continue to bear fruit, we're going to leave them. So guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. I hope that you guys found this video useful, and I really hope that this information, you can apply it in your aquaponics system, and you could probably have the same results that we have. So look out for our next aquaponics video. I'm not sure about the topic yet. I may expand on the bell siphon before going into the different methods of aquaponics, right? So look out for that video. That'll be next week Wednesday, please God. I'm gonna bring that. Look out for a new rabbit video this coming Monday, and we hope you guys continue to support us and give us the love. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Okay, if it's your first time here with us, please click that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the little bell so that you'll get notifications whenever we upload new content. So So guys, thanks again for watching. We hope to see you guys in our next video. Stay tuned for more. Sean Austin, on behalf of myself and my business partner Sean McLean, wishing you all the best. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.